Hey everyone, Wes here for Family Gamer TV, and today I have the pleasure of talking to TT Games director Arthur Parsons about Lego Marvel Avengers.
Yes, Lego Marvel Avengers.
Yes, very excited. Today is the launch day in the US.
Yep.
And we're expecting it in a few days in the UK.
Yep.
Big day, really.
Massive day. Massive day. My Twitter feed, for example, went into meltdown. It's actually 3 minutes past midnight for some bizarre reason, but with people that stayed up to play it in the US, and very exciting day for us because it's been a while, and having finished the game just before Christmas, it's actually slightly longer than usual between finishing and the game coming out. So the whole team are just excited the game's finally out.
And even though it's been a few hours, and even though the game is bigger this time out, I'm guessing there's probably a few people out there who are already 100% of it. Those crazy
I haven't seen anyone
addicts.
yet.
No?
I have had a couple of people sending me screenshots of the credit sequence, so they must have stayed up all night, which isn't advisable. Yeah, always take a break from your console. But I think for anyone that's going to 100% it, they'll have a job doing it in a day. It's got to be I think the test team got it down to about 35 hours, so
wow.
It's pretty lengthy.
So big game. How in terms of scope, just I don't know, a rough percentage, how much bigger do you think this is than previous TT games?
I'd have to compare it directly with Lego Marvel Superheroes probably, and if I was forced to give it a value, I would say it's got to be somewhere between 25 and 50% bigger. You've got 8 hubs for starters, and yes, there's not 8 Manhattan-sized hubs, but you've got 7 hub areas extra on top of Manhattan. You've got over 200 characters with the season pass, over 250. It's bigger.
We don't need numbers. It's bigger.
Needless to say, it's significantly bigger. Yeah. There's definitely twice as much voice work in this one than there was in Lego Marvel Superheroes. There's a huge amount of voice work. So it's a big, but it's the same team, and we wanted to one-up ourselves in every way. So that was the objective at the start of the project, and I think we can all quite happily sit back and say that we managed to do it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be worth coming to work every day if you were just going to do the same thing.
No,
every
it
time.
has to be, as well as it being fun in the office, it has to be a challenge.
Yeah.
And this one's been a challenge, just making sure that we got everything in that we wanted to. And there's things that people won't even notice that we've done. So, for example, there was a few people that didn't necessarily like the flight controls in Lego Marvel Superheroes, or Lego Batman actually. And so what we've actually done is there's 2 flight control methods, both of which are active at the same time. So you won't even notice. So whether you like one or the other, you'll just think, oh yeah, flying field's cool. But it's actually 2 different ways of doing it, either both sticks or the circle and X buttons on a PS4 controller, X and B on a 360 Xbox One. So, things like that, very subtle things like Captain America, when he runs around, he actually swaps which hand he's holding the shield in based on the proximity of enemies or obstacles. Again, so subtle you won't notice it. So there's little things through to massive changes like the combo and the combat system. So everything's been revamped in one way, shape or form.
So this time out, this game focuses quite heavily on 6 Marvel films. Is it 6?
Yeah, primarily Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron, but there is also content from Captain America, First Avenger, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Thor: The Dark World, and Iron Man 3.
So even more.
Yeah, and there's Agent Carter content, there's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. content, there's, you name it, it's
and
in
you've
there.
got Ant-Man DLC as well.
Yep, exclusively for PS3 and PS4. Timed exclusive, I think. I don't know the exact detail. I should do, but I don't. So that's free DLC for PlayStation owners, and then a season pass of extra content, which we're working on now. A whole lot of stuff.
Does it prove a greater challenge to try and integrate an existing story than it does to have kind of the freedom that you had with Lego Marvel previously?
it's actually it's bizarre. It's a question I've been asked a few times. If you consider, say, we've obviously done Lego Harry Potter, which is retelling a well-known story, and then we've done Lego Marvel Superheroes, which is a unique story, a unique original story, and it's actually a kind of an equal 50-50 challenge, because when you're telling an original story, you get the freedom to go, right, which location do we want, which character do we want, and you get to set those sort of things up yourself. I want this bad guy in this location doing this thing with a pink tutu and a clockwork hippopotamus, whatever it might be. Whereas with a story that you're retelling, you're kind of fixed. It's like you're in South Africa, you're fighting Hulk, you are the Hulkbuster. So they're both an equal challenge. When you're retelling a story, it's actually more satisfying, because the payoff when you get it right with the humour is just another level. And that Hulkbuster fight, for example, there's the classic go to sleep that Tony Stark says when he's punching Hulk in the face, and to get that across in Lego form, he's doing the same thing, but then he sticks a I don't want to say pacifier, that's such an American word. He sticks a dummy in Hulk's mouth and gives him a teddy bear and treats him like a baby, and it's just.
I think that's still a plush bear, isn't
it? but still, with the film audio of go to sleep, and it just really sort of like brings it to another level. That sort of humour that you can have with a sort of like a story that people know, and I love both. I think it's a really nice mix to do one then the other, and it keeps you on your toes as a designer, because each one brings its own unique challenges. But we've had a ball on this one. They're great movies. We haven't stuck with the movies. We've gone classic comic book as well, and anyone that's a Marvel fan will find an awful lot of hidden stuff. They will see all sorts of stuff. Even 80s TV Hulk. So, Lou Ferrigno's in the game. He can transform into 80s Hulk. He's got some quests in there. They're all pretty funny, and there's something for everyone.
Well, and that is the great thing about the Lego games, whether it be the standard Lego games, as I'm going to call them. There's nothing standard about them. But when you've got Dimensions as the comparison point, they're all tailored not just for kids, but there's something there for me and you and everybody else.
Yeah, I remember I read an article one time a few years ago, and they sort of said the Lego video games are sort of like the video game equivalent to Pixar movies, and I found that really complimentary, but I know exactly what they were getting at. It's something that you can enjoy as an adult, as a hardcore gamer, or you can also enjoy it as a child. You can enjoy it as a non-gamer. And we find a lot of people play our games with family members that may not necessarily play games very much, because they can kick back and just have fun and be entertained. So we like to think there's something for everyone, and that's what I think makes the Lego games so popular.
So, along with the story in this one, we've also got a vast open world. You said 8 hub worlds, was it?
Yeah,
to explore?
I think that's right. 8, definitely. South Africa. Let's reel them off. South Africa, Sokovia, Shield Base, Malibu, Washington, Manhattan, Barton Farm, Asgard. That's 8. Yeah.
Cool. Any visits to Tahiti?
No visits to Tahiti. However, there is a nice little reference for people that might. If you know, I'm a massive Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan. If you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., there are quite a few references to that in the game, including Lola. There's a flying car in the game. But there's in the scene where Coulson dies in the first Avengers movie. In that scene, he doesn't actually die in our game, and Nick Fury actually puts tickets to Tahiti in his top pocket. So there's little nods like that, little references, little Easter eggs people will see, and obviously, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is one of the packs that will be in the season pass, and as a massive Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan, that is one of the packs that I'm really enjoying working on at the minute. So.
I'm exactly the same. I'm just at the end of season 2, loving the show. Rocky start, but thoroughly invested now.
It was one of those, if you were still there after I think probably the 4th or 5th episode, it just got better and better. And season 2, the ending for me was epic. And I've just started season 3, and love it.
We have some returning voice cast from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Clark Gregg.
Yeah. Clark Gregg's in the game, so he's done a load of original VO for us. Kobe Smulders, who plays Maria Hill, she has as well. Who else have we got? Lee Ferrigno's done some, Stan Lee's done some. Hayley Atwell as Agent Carter, she's done some. We've had a lot of people do a lot of voice work, and that's without like the guys and girls who are the professional voice actors. Roger Craig Smith, Travis Willingham, Laura Bailey. There's a whole another group of people who are amazing at their jobs, and they've pretty much voiced the rest of the game, and that's awesome. We've had some people that we had a bit of fun with as well. So Greg Miller came and he voiced Aldrich Killian for us. Scott Porter voiced. I remember he voiced Bucky Barnes because he really wanted to be Bucky Barnes. We've got a lot of people in the game.
Just so you know, I'm available anytime. And along with those voice actors and obviously talent from TV, etc., we've got the voices from the film fitting in with the story pieces. Yeah,
so we made a conscious decision for authenticity to take all those great characters from the movies and use the voices of Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Tom Hiddleston, and everyone else, because it actually makes the parody, makes the humour more believable, and I think it paid off brilliantly. Obviously the proof of the pudding, for want of a better expression, is when people play it. But I think that everyone that does will be sort of pleased that they have done. This is, I don't even want to know how many Lego games I've worked on, but I find that I say it every single time. This is the best game ever. And it's because the team and I just drive ourselves to it. I didn't think that we would get a game that sort of like eclipsed superheroes, I'll be honest. But I think this one definitely does. In a different way. It's a different take on that same universe, and the payoff is great. The characterization and the personality of the game is a winner. It's really good.
You mentioned a few little details that people might miss. What are the big kind of gameplay evolutions that we're going to see in this title?
The Lego-lutions, as we call them. Well, we've got things in there. So, Avengers is about Earth's mightiest team coming together to save the world, and it's about teaming up. So, this game, the combat system, we kind of rejigged it. Rather than the game automatically pulling off your combos for a single player, the player has to do it themselves. They charge their combo meter, they can pull off these great combos. However, you can now team characters up. So you can take Iron Man and team up with Hulk, and they'll perform a special, effectively a smart bomb, but a unique one. If you do it the other way round with Hulk and Iron Man, it's unique that way round.
There's an example early in the game I played today where you had Thor and Cap, and straight from the film where you've got Thor hitting Cap's shield to destroy a tank. That's another example.
Yes, and so that for the core 9 Avengers, so that's the Avengers, and then Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Vision. There is a unique one depending on which way you do it. So that's 72 unique moves. Then for the rest of the 200 plus cast, there is a move, but it's not unique because nobody on this 200 times 200. That's what 4,000. My maths 40,000. That's physically impossible. You would not fit it on a disc. But you can still team up Egghead with Butterball, or I don't know. You could team up Hellcat with Tigra. So you can still team them up, but all the Avengers ones are unique, and it adds another dimension to the game because it's something cool and new and exciting to unlock and find. So that's one of the new things. There's also something new in the way that you can basically travel from hub to hub seamlessly via the use of a space Quinjet, as we call it. What else have we got in there that's new and exciting? There's new and exciting stuff in there in terms of teaming up for puzzle solutions. We've revamped pretty much every returning character's mechanics. So there's, I'll say the wrong number here, but I think there's 15 Iron Man suits. So you go into Tony Stark's Jarvis sort of heads-up display, any of those suits you can pick live. He'll then do a transform which is unique to that suit, which usually is a reference to where that suit's appeared in movies or comics, and he'll live transform to those. So much.
And very often, I heard you say before that a lot of these characters get added to the game based purely on requests that you had.
It's one of those things that absolutely my mind boggles with, an outpouring of devotion for a particular character. And when we're drawing up our initial roster, it's no easy thing to do. Right, which characters appear in the movies, and yes, you have to go and put Agent Sitwell in there as well as Iron Man. So you get those characters in, and then you're like, right, which characters do we really want? Who are the most popular, most famous Avengers and villains? And then you go through and go, right, which are our favourites? Who do we want to put in there? Yeah, I want to put original Human Torch in. He's cool, he's quirky. I want to put Union Jack in because I'm British and we're a British developer. And the same with Captain Britain, British developer. Fly that flag. And then you go, right, who else can we put in? And then you think you've got a roster that you're happy with, and then all of a sudden, it's like, is Deathlocket in the game? It's like, who's Deathlocket? And then you go and you Google and you go and read some comics. Oh, Deathlocket, really? Right, let's add Deathlocket. Let's add Superior Iron Man. Let's add the Ironmonger armor. Let's add, all these characters. And then all of a sudden, I'm having to go to the character team and beg, borrow, steal, pull in every favour known to man. Trading them like T-shirts that I've had to borrow or rob from E3 or whatever, and bringing back goodies, sweets, whatever it is.
I bet it's equal part love and hate though, because they get to work on something new and exciting, but at the same time they just have to do more.
But even right up to the week before we actually called time on the game, we were still adding characters because we got to a point where it was like, we've got, and I can't remember what the number was, and I was like, it's not a round number, it's not a round number, it needs to be a round number, I don't like it not being a round number. And then sort of I had our lead animator came to me and said, there's the character Reptile, and I was like, he's really cool, I said, he's really expensive because of all the different things he can do. He's like, but we did some tests, do you want to come and have a look? And it's like, that's really cool. It's like, we thought that, so we've added him. It's like, oh, brilliant. And it snowballs. It's such a creative process. I've got, if you think, I don't know, probably about 160 people, but such a creative team in the office that feel so passionately about what we do that, that's how it snowballs. And, our designs start as effectively, that's what we'd like to make, and then it just grows and grows and grows. And that's, I think, why the games are so successful, because it shows in the finished product just how much we all care about what we do, and long may it continue. It's a great sort of place to work, I think.
Well, it shows. I mean, you've been there for, I think your Twitter bio says 16 plus years, so you're doing well.
Yeah, I feel old sometimes. Yeah, there's people that start, and it's like I have to sort of say, we're having a conversation and we'll be talking about something, and usually we'll be talking about the Goonies because it's one of those things that I love.
Which hasn't been done in Lego form yet, and TT Games are on the hook for that. I'm waiting patiently. No comment. It's all right. It's all right.
But yes, we'll be talking about that. Actually, bringing it back to Avengers, when we were talking about Lou Ferrigno, I had one of the guys on the team go, "Who's Lou Ferrigno?" And I went, "Oh, you remember the 80s TV show?" And they were like, "No, I've never seen it." I was like, "Oh, really? Right, okay. Here's the thing." And so I sent them a load of links. You've got to watch this one, and it's the episode where he picks up this bear and he's thrown a bear, and it's so terrible, it's brilliant. And there's another one where he hulks out because someone's trying to offer him a cup of tea, and that's also brilliant. And so, you have to remember, it's like, I'm 41 this year. I'm actually old enough to be some of the people that are coming to our office to work now. I'm old enough to be their dad. And some of them, and this is the most amazing thing, some of them grew up playing the games that we made. We have this thing in the office that no one will ever see, but on our internal intranet, there's a Throwback Thursday. And every week, a guy called John Mayer, he writes an article about one of our old games and like little stories and stuff, some really funny stuff, which it should be made into a book, to be honest, but really funny stuff about the development of games. And one of them came up the other day, which was Toy Story 2, and one of the programmers sort of came over, and he's one of the new guys that's just graduated. And he was like, "Yeah, as a kid, I remember I played that as a kid." I was like, "Really? Now I feel old." But that's the great thing about our games, that they have formed part of people's childhood, I guess, and as fondly as I'll remember, Operation Wolf or Ikari Warriors or whatever it might be, there are people out there that will be remembering Lego Marvel Avengers, and it's a nice feeling, I think.
Absolutely, and some of those people playing are going to be playing on mobile as well, on 3DS and Vita.
Yep.
And we had a big announcement the other week about the open world on 3DS.
Yeah, and you know what? That is testament to Steve Thornton, who's the game director on the handheld over at TT Fusion. From day one, when we first had our little get together, he was just like, "I'm going to have open world on handheld for this game," and I was like, "Can you do it?" And he was just like, "I don't know, but you know what? We're going to give it a good go." And yeah, they've done it. And the great thing is, it's been really collaborative on this game, working with Steve and the team. And I think people on the handheld this time, because it's something that people have sort of like had a criticism of in the past. Why haven't we got like this open world experience? And Steve's very, very passionate about it, and he's obviously made it happen. They've also got Hulk being able to super jump around, which I think is brilliant. But he's also added his own unique twist. So there are actually, even though we're retelling, say, the attack on Stricker's Castle, Steve's done a slightly different take on it, so that if someone wanted to buy both handheld and console, they'll have a different experience, even though we're telling the same story. And he's got some unique stuff in the game. We saw one the other day, and you can unlock this like Hydra coupe, which is from Captain America: The First Avenger, which was unique for the handheld. And you then have to go and find Hydra ways, which I thought was really, really good. And it's also got a really brilliant achievement where if you use every one of Hawkeye's arrow types, you unlock an achievement which is called Bow Selector, which again I thought was brilliant. So and it's great. It's great that they share our enthusiasm and passion. So yeah, I'm hoping that every single person that plays the handheld appreciates the effort they've put in, and if they do, hit Steve up on Twitter. It's @_Stephen Thornton, I think, and let him know. So yeah, very, very
give
good.
Arthur a rest and let Steve.
No, you know what? We love hearing everything, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's indifferent, because ultimately, people are out there buying our games, spending hard-earned money on the things we make, and at the end of the day, we need to make sure those people are happy. So yeah, we like to engage.
And now those mobile games usually come to tablets, phones as well.
They do.
This time out though, we've now got Apple TV on the market. Any kind of because obviously there's some titles that are full console experiences now on Apple TV because of the power of the device. Is that something that you might explore in future?
Believe it or not, that is something I know absolutely nothing about. It's bizarre. You'd think, directing a AAA video game that we'd know everything about everything and be involved in everything. That is one thing I really don't know anything about. It's definitely something we can follow up on because, it's just a question I don't know the answer to. Stephen might have done, Steve Thornton, but yeah, I have no idea, and I can genuinely say that hand on heart.
No worries.
But I know that they support. What was the other one? Where you can play your Vita on the TV.
The PlayStation TV?
Yeah. So that's supported. I know they've done that. So there's a lot of stuff that we have done, but yeah, Apple TV, I really don't know.
No problem. Anything else you'd like to tell us that we need to know about the game before people get their hands on it?
I think the most important thing is that people go out, get the game, and enjoy it. And if they do, then the next thing to do is to look out for the season pass, because we have worked so hard to make sure that the season pass is as cheap as it can be. And so when the season pass, you can get it on the day of launch, and for the next sort of 3 months or so, there's going to be bits and bobs that drop regularly. There's going to be 5 levels, over 40 characters, 5 or 6 new vehicles which are amazing, some character packs, and all of that was £7.99 as far as I'm aware. I think that's what the price is, which is ridiculously cheap for the amount of content that's in there. And some of that content is just really good fun. We're working on it now because it's one of those things. Let's do the main game. Let's get that out. Let's take nothing out of the main game, and then you know what? People loved what we did with the Lego Batman 3 season pass. Let's do something else. But obviously this time round, we're offering more for less. So yeah, hopefully people that love the game will then love that as well.
Well, if it's anything like the 1960s Batman stuff you did previously, then it's going to be well worth that $7.99.
Which was, that's all down to Stephen Sharple. So he did a great. That's assistant game director. He did a great job on that. So yeah, I think we'll match that. But I think what everyone really needs to look out for when they play this game is all the little Easter eggs that we've hidden in the game. There's some quirky music tracks. There's definitely lots of visual references. And there's a lot of little quests and stories that are taken from classic comic books. So hopefully people will pick up on all that stuff.
Great. Thanks very much, Arthur. It's been
Cheers,
a pleasure speaking to you.
All right. Thank you.